rebounds. Up next for the Tigers is Southeast Missouri State. That's this Friday, and you can hear coverage right here beginning at 6:30 on the Big 550. And in hockey, Edmonton 3-2. We're looking for sunny skies today, an afternoon high near 71, mostly clear tonight with an overnight low in the low 50s, then sunny tomorrow with a high of 70. At 7 minutes past 10 o'clock, sunshine, 61 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
And now, the Frank and Jill Show. It's Frank Cusimano, Jill Farmer on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. Powered by STL Medical Weight Loss. See the Dr. Joe difference at stlmedweightloss.com.
Good morning and welcome. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS, and we are excited today because this is the 1-year anniversary. Jill Farmer and Mr. Dorsey and myself went to Three Bay Barbecue, I guess about 12 and a half months ago, to discuss the concept of having a show together. And I'll give Mr. Dorsey all the credit in the world. He thought it could work, and we've lasted a year. So congratulations to you and to Mr. Dorsey for making this happen.
Yeah, that's great. And we've lasted a year.
That's right. And it gets better every month.
That's
when you
great.
browbeat me and slap me around the studio after a bad show, I've grown
tough.
to accept it.
It is. It's tough to be Frank Cusimano here on the Frank and Jill Show, but it has been good. I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Some friends took me out to, we have an annual tradition for, 20 plus years now. We take each other out on our birthdays, and mine was a month ago, but we finally got around to going yesterday. Went to Il Belago. I've never been there for lunch before.
Wow.
But when we had Carmelo on recently, he talked about him being open all those days of the week for lunch and for dinner. It's a fabulous experience to go for lunch. It's just perfection. It was so great. I got Parmesan encrusted grouper in a lemon sauce with artichokes on it. That was the special. And then you could either do pasta on the side or their whipped potatoes and broccolini, which were out of this world. Friend got the rigatoni special. Another got the steak and blue cheese salad. We tasted each other's. Everything was perfect. Wow. It was really good.
Lunch. Did you have a glass of, or did you have iced tea?
No, I didn't. But Carmelo, because he's kind and became friends when he was on the show, brought us little samplers of their brown. What was it called? Brown something shake.
Oh my gosh!
And I think it had a little something in it, but it was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's so old school. It's really an ice cream shake, but is it the Brown Betty? Is that what it's called?
Oh gosh, let me text him. But yeah, it's so good. It's like the best milkshake you've ever had.
It was so good. And so that was. And then they said, "Oh, it's your birthday. You also get tiramisu." But I said, "No, I have to cry uncle here." But it was it was joyful to be with these wonderful friends. I think that's
squirrel.
right, or something. Yeah, right. It's something like that.
Well, that is good. You weren't not productive the rest of your day.
I was like pretending that by ordering fish, it was a little bit lighter, but no, I had to definitely stand up during my coaching calls, so I didn't get too drowsy. But yeah, it was a good day. It was a very good day.
And how long, because I have to say this, I think women have lunch at longer periods of time. How long did this thing last? You got there at what time? What time did you leave?
Well, I got there early because I got the time wrong. I thought I was going to be 10 minutes late, and I was actually 20 minutes early. And I think we walked out so this guys got there at 1, and we walked out at 2:15. So
that's not too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I did have to go work, so we probably could have stayed there for a lot longer and enjoyed ourselves. Boy. It was really fun.
You can't beat a great.
I walked in and he said, "Hey, one of Frank's favorite people, Chris Pronger, is here." So he was somewhere in the restaurant. I didn't see him, but yeah, it was a great. I mean, crowded, but the service was impeccable.
That's awesome because not many elegant Italian restaurants are open for lunch, and not many of them are open for lunch and do a great business. So that is awesome to hear, and they deserve it. All right, we got a good one today. Greg Willard is going to join us at 11 o'clock. He actually worked with Dick Cheney, who just passed away. The former vice president passed away this morning at age 84. And then something different at 10:30. Jason Love, he is the dad of Jeremiah Love, who happens to be one of the best football players in the country. And there's a unique element of their relationship, and there's something very unique about Jeremiah Love's life. and we'll unveil that at about 10:30.
It's going to be so fun to have this conversation. I mean, we're so. If you love football, we have so many St. Louis players to be proud of. I don't know how you keep track of it. Do you have some kind of a system to keep track of where all of the St. Louis region players end up playing when they have successful careers
I think when you
in
cover
college?
them in high school, you just kind of keep an eye on them when they get to college.
So that's how you make
Yeah.
sure none of them slip through the cracks?
Yes. In fact, I was just telling our producer at TV, let's show video of the St. Louis. And Ryan Wingo from SLU also had a big day. And Jeremiah had that special moment, which you'll hear a little bit later in the program.
And if you had to guess, how many would you say outstanding St. Louis athletes are competing at a high level of let's just start with football, but at least at a high level of football right now?
Oh, I'd say there'd probably be at least a dozen at a high D1 level for sure. Yeah. But Jeremiah, in fact, I was on a text thread this weekend after he took off on that long run about where he ranks in terms of great players on the collegiate level from St. Louis. And there's Ezekiel Elliott, there's Monty Ball. But in terms of having college careers, he's right up there with the best of them.
Oh, that's very, very cool. Yeah, really cool. We should give a little credit to breakfast today came from our friend at Nathaniel Reed.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're so kind to pick that up. It's croissants at a higher level.
it's just the best celebration food, though, isn't it?
And it is great. And I noticed Frank did not bring in any champagne or anything like that. And
Forgot the day. I don't think I've done this with Monique, but it was very nice of you to remember.
I've never. I don't think. I don't think too many people at least forget their anniversary. John is actually better than me about remembering how many years we've been married. People will say, "How long have you guys been married?" And I'm counting on my fingers a little bit, or thinking back, and he always has it right.
I'm sure
tip of
Mr.
his tongue.
Dorsey will come in a little bit later with the 1-year anniversary bonuses.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. And the balloons, the party, the band.
All right, somebody asking about the restaurant Il Balago in
Creve Coeur.
Olive Street Road in Creve Coeur. Yeah, you'll love it. So, all right, we'll take a short time out. We'll come back with the opening dialogue right after this.
Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Government is not the solution, government is the problem." When it comes to economic growth, government can be a roadblock. With red tape, regulations, and subsidies, government stifles entrepreneurship and also props up businesses that deserve to go under. Unlike government, free markets encourage risk-taking, freedom to succeed or fail. Government shouldn't be picking winners and losers, the market should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar and United Healthcare will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Repairing chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, entire homes, anything to do with brick or stone, you need a tuck pointer you can trust. and that, of course, is Morelli. Morelli is a family-run business started in 1991, and they're only as good as their last customer. That's why when you check out the reviews online at MorelliTuckPointing.com, you'll notice that they're actual customers who are singing the praises of Morelli. So if you need a tuck pointer, you need Morelli. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Michael's Baths, operated by Michael Gower and his daughter Melody. If you want a bathroom remodel, Michael's Baths will give you a free quote. Walk-in showers that all look like natural stone, maybe some grab bars, whatever you need. All they use are American-made products, so you're not at the mercy of any tariff increases. Right now, get a free shower door or $500 off a bathroom remodel. Michael's Baths, 636-775-0800, or online at michaelsbaths.com.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
All right, thought one. So in a time period where your options to do things goes down dramatically, it's dark at 5 o'clock, so outside things are out of the question for the most part. Most people will likely turn on the TV sooner. Darker and colder takes things off the table. And as most things get better, our ability to watch TV seems like it gets more difficult. I want to open this up to the listeners at 84126. First, let's state the obvious. There are more options. There's just no doubt about it. I mean, who heard of Netflix 15 years ago and stuff? So, but I'm wondering, because you have to have this service and that service, and you have to have this password and that password, is it actually better now? Or is it more difficult? I know for the really tech-savvy younger people, it's a breeze. But I think for a lot of people, like last night when you had all these games on that were on ESPN Plus, you needed passwords, it was more difficult. I'm just wondering how our audience feels right now. Is it a lot better right now, or is it not as good? Your take.
I think you bring up really good points, because I remember back in the day going, I wish I didn't have to pay the cable bill for all these shows I don't want to watch. And now we've got the individual options through our streaming services, and we end up paying as much or more than we ever did on cable. As we mentioned earlier in the show, 1 year ago today, November 4th, 2024, something pretty amazing and honestly pretty unexpected began. The Frank and Jill Show here on KTRS. I'll be honest, I never set out to be a radio talk show host, but it turns out this job is the marriage of many things I love. I have an intense curiosity, so getting to interview fascinating people, learning something new every day, and maybe even helping folks think a little more broadly, maybe a little less divided, is pretty fantastic. It's about exploring what makes us tick and sometimes even what ticks us off. When Frank and I were first paired up, I'm not entirely sure he was over the moon about it, to say the least. I mean, here's the St. Louis sports legend, the voice of sports, king of the press box, suddenly teamed up with me, a life coach who didn't even know the difference between a nickel defense and a nickel you drop in a parking meter. Took us a minute to find our rhythm, but I think we've become a really good team, one that balances each other's strengths and keeps things real. Frank, of course, incredibly hardworking, and his interviewing skills are the best in the business. He's got a huge heart. He cares deeply about people, about stories, about this city. And in a world where cynicism sometimes gets all the applause, Frank shows up with heart and intention every single day, and that, I think, makes a difference. And Frank, you do lead by example on that front. I mean that truly. Also, I am sorry I'm so much funnier than you. I try not to show it too often, but it's hard to keep this hilarity contained. So here's to 1 year of the Frank and Jill Show. A wild, wonderful ride full of laughter, learning, love for this city that we both call home. Thank you guys all for listening as well, for texting in, for occasionally laughing with us, and I'm sure very often laughing at us. You guys are the best. We're grateful for those of you who stayed listening, even though you had to mourn the changes, because Wendy and Jennifer had an awesome show in this time slot. Thanks to all of you who followed Frank here from his old radio gig, and thanks to all of you who have found your way back to local radio here. We absolutely love having you. It's an honor. It's humbling, and we'll keep showing up with curiosity, heart, and maybe just a tiny bit of occasional friendly competition. Happy 1 year anniversary to the Frank and Jill Show, partner. And Connor, we would be remiss if we didn't say you're the real thing that makes this all happen. Thanks for being the brain that sometimes neither of us have in the mornings.
The young brain.
Yeah, we really, you get us out of, as my kids would say, a lot of stitches. And we really, really appreciate you. And I feel very privileged to work with you as well.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, that was great. That was awesome. And Jill is everything I am not. She's smart, organized, and prepared every day. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think there was a certain amount of skepticism.
You're not very good at hiding things, just so you know. Your emotions, you're pretty terrible at hiding them, but we got through it.
I mean, you worked at Fox 2. That was strike number one. No, but it has been great. And if people only knew the way I can just like throw an idea at you and you go for it and you attack it and then take it like 5 steps further. That's what's made this good. So I greatly appreciate it. All right, thought two. We pleased the audience there. Now we're going to tick them off here. Sorry, Agnes. The night in sports, and it's just all positive. We just don't have many nights where all of our teams win, especially in 2025. How about the best Blues win of the season? They were down 2-0, the defending Western Conference champions, the Oilers. They tie it, and they win it with 1:23 to play. The 7-game losing streak is over. I'm not ready to say they're back, baby, but it's a start. How about it, Jim Montgomery?
Even during this slide, maybe hard to believe, but the belief in the room is that we're a good hockey team. And I talked about it earlier. There's a lot of analytics pointing. There's what the expected goals for and against and what quadrant we're in. In the last 10 years, the quadrant we're in, they haven't missed the playoffs.
All right, the opening of the college basketball season. SLU was sloppy at times against SEMO, but they won by 25 points without their A game. Illinois looked dominating against Jackson State, and then we are the home of the Missouri Tigers. And they went to Howard, showed their depth, 9 players scoring 7 or more. The 7-footer, Sean Phillips, looked good. St. Louis goes 4-0. It's nice to have a good night in St. Louis sports for a change. Jill.
All good stuff, and I think everybody likes it when you give us a good roundup like that. Hey, new data says that having a morning routine is one of the best things that can help us live longer. We listen about all the other stuff, but I thought this was a little bit interesting. There is a link between our morning routine and longevity. I won't bore you with all of the science right away, but here's the things that scientists tell us make a difference. Number one, hydrate right away. Apparently, we're supposed to drink a glass of water before we grab that first cup of coffee or Diet Coke or tea, whatever your morning beverage is. It really helps get your metabolism going and digestion, and we should all be drinking at least 8 ounces. 12 is better before we start. Nutrition, dense breakfast, nothing new there. We've known that for a while. Particularly, we're supposed to have stuff with some protein and fiber. Stretching your body. It turns out that a morning stretch when it comes to longevity is probably even better than a heart-pumping workout first thing in the morning. It's getting that circadian rhythm kind of adjusted, and stretching and getting some flexibility first thing is good. And then activating your nervous system.
This is what water does?
No, this is all the other things you're supposed to be doing. Water is only number one.
Oh.
And then it's stretching, eating a nutrition-dense breakfast. And then, this is called somatic exercises, which is stuff like tapping your body with your balled fist, something that activates your nervous system and gets your body moving a little bit that isn't just necessarily going out for a run. Finally, I'm going to love this one, practicing mindfulness. Once you have done a little bit of these other things, actually setting an intention, being present is one of the best things you can do to start your day.
Being present. So elaborate on what that would look like.
So that would mean what our brain does by default when we don't pay attention is it ruminates backwards about things that have happened that you can't change. You're thinking about stuff, or it's jumping forward about things that haven't happened yet. And so when you're here now, in the present moment, that's when we're most alert, awake, conscious. We relate better, and a lot of us are not very good at doing that.
Yeah.
Present company accepted.
That's really good. Yep, I like that. Okay, thought three, just a couple of quick ones. The polls can be wrong. We've seen it quite a bit, but they would have to be really wrong on the New York mayoral race. By the end of the day, Zoran Mamdani could be the next mayor of our biggest city in the United States. How about the professional soccer story? Elizabeth Eddy said the Women's Soccer League, the National Women's Soccer League, needs to adopt a gender standard policy to protect the integrity of the league and make sure that biological men do not play in that league. Some of her teammates were, quote, hurt and harmed by her thoughts, viewing it as transphobic. Thoughts on the text line on this one? I think the story broke yesterday, and it's becoming kind of hot on some websites around the country. So 84126, a woman in the professional soccer league saying we should not allow men to play in our league, and her own teammates have fired back at her. So we'll see what happens there.
Holiday decorations. 20 years ago, lots of us would grumble when we started seeing Christmas decorations up in the stores right around Halloween. I would say things like, that's blatant commercialism, trying to get us all just to buy more stuff before the holidays. I would decry it. But now experts say the trend is not just in stores or public places, largely led by millennials. More Americans than ever are starting to put up holiday decorations in November. I'm not talking about Thanksgiving holiday decorations. I'm talking about the Christmas stuff. Christmas tree went up here at Westport yesterday. It is quite lovely for me to look at every day, I might say. And all the other decorations as well. Many younger influencers who I follow on the socials have at least started the process of converting their homes for the fun holiday Christmas season. Here's what the data shows. Surveys show an increasing number of Americans are decorating earlier. 16% decorating between now and mid-November or sooner. 34% decorating before Thanksgiving. The reason, many people say they're spending more time at home and they want to find more ways to experience joy during the holiday season. Some say, hey, I spend the money on the decorations. I want to enjoy them for a longer time. Also, getting a head start on the holiday season allows for a more relaxed and joyful experience. And this just in, psychological studies say early decorators do tend to be happier and friendlier than their late decorating counterparts.
And I wonder what the curmudgeon Connor has to say about all this.
About Christmas decorations? Well, I thought it was a little silly that we got the decorations up here at Westport here that got put up yesterday, which is the first business day after Halloween. I don't know. Don't you just kind of have to wait a little bit? Let Thanksgiving get a little bit of time? No,
I'm a Thanksgiving. I'm routinized. It's kind of my tradition. It's how we've done it. But I think my kids are going to decorate their house. At least one of my daughters and husband are going to do theirs next week. And I say you do you, boo. Whatever brings you the most joy, and it's your house. And if it's fun for you, I say go for it.
But that only goes so far, right? Like. You would judge someone if they had their decorations up all year just because it makes them happy. I
probably wouldn't.
And why is Halloween the one, or why is Christmas rather the one holiday that we allow this?
Well, we're not saying July,
but if someone put their Christmas decorations up in August, well, I really like, they put up their Halloween decorations rather in August.
Right. Yeah.
You go, well, I really like the decorations, and I want to see them.
I think
you would still judge them.
I would bet that you have a lot of support on the Royal Bank of Missouri text line 84126, and people are like, let's draw a line in the sand. Let's just say what and go ridiculous. But I don't care. I'm not one of those people that cares if you have your lights up all the way through January into February either. I'm like, everybody's just doing the best they can do, and they'll get it down.
Really, one year just go crazy with lights and all sorts of things out front?
No, well, I would say when those blow up, remember they first came out about 20 years ago, and my father-in-law was very smitten with them, and so he sent a bunch. So our kids were young, and so they were like, we have to put all of them. So one year we had a lot of the blow-up things in the front yard, which I don't know if the neighbors loved that. It was very festive at our house. Those things don't tend to last forever, though.
No,
so
they don't.
McGraw said he's got 2 big inflatables this year.
Yeah. So. We have inflatable dachshund, which goes on our bushes because in honor of Frankie, our inflatable dachshund, the one from the Grinch, that pulled with the reindeer ears. And so we have that up every year, and we put some lights out front. I love the holidays, so I'm happy to decorate. I just don't start quite as early as the millennials.
Much to Monique's dismay, we did it like a couple years in a row. Just we hooged out. I mean, we did everything possible, and you know, they always broke. The lights always broke, and the things always broke. And I'm not exactly Mr. Handyman, so we stopped.
She said until you can actually know what the names of the tools are that we're going to be required to fix this stuff, you can't do it.
221. All right, we're going to take a short time out. When we come back, he's Jason Love. He's the father of one of the best players in America, Jeremiah Love. And there's a unique story, and it's not just about sports, Agnes. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watched Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top-notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home, and that includes red flags. And through all of it, she is calm, cool, and kind. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just have a question, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684, or go to LaurenRisleyRealty.com.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days, 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment, you fill out a health questionnaire form, you get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home, and then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners, and then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB, sausage, onion, bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
You know, over the years, Lordo's has become part of the family for many, many St. Louis families. For 80 years, they've been helping St. Louis families with all of the jewelry needs, whether it's the diamond ring, a diamond ring, maybe something for St. Patrick's Day, something for an anniversary, Valentine's Day. Throughout the years and throughout the calendar, it's Lordo's as your go-to. Whether it's men or women, you want to repurpose something or buy something new, Lordo's Diamonds in the heart of Ladue on Clayton Road. You see, it's a family business. The family's been running it for years, and they learned it from their father, who learned it from their father. And so that family jeweler, it's where generations of St. Louisans go. Grandparents have gone there. Your grandkids will go there. Right there in Ladue on Clayton Road across the street from a Norman Rockwell-esque firehouse is Lordo's Diamonds. Go in, make a friend, and make them your family jeweler, because you can thank me later. 314-432-8008 or online, lordosdiamonds.com.
Mike Lippert here with Lee C. Lumber Company. We're a family-owned company that's been providing quality wood products to builders, contractors, and homeowners in the St. Louis metro area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. In addition to our lumber yards, we offer custom millwork for your outdoor project. We can produce your artistic cedar and fir timber trusses. For the best of woods and custom millwork, LeeCLumber.com.
Together Credit Union is proud to join KTRS in honoring the men and women who have served in our nation's armed forces. As your hometown home loan provider, we're proud to offer Community Contributor Mortgage to help support the dreams of those who served our community. With low down payments and no private mortgage insurance, we're committed to helping you achieve your dreams of home ownership. Stop by one of our 14 branches or visit togethercu.org.
Membership eligibility is required. Loan subject to approval. Visit togethercu.org for full details.
And now, KTRS weather.
Not a bad run of weather by November standards. We're going to have some clouds this morning that make way for mostly sunny skies and warmer temperatures this afternoon. 71 for the high. Winds out of the south this afternoon at 10 to 15. A couple of gusts up to 20 or 25. Mostly clear tonight, not as chilly. The low in St. Louis at 54 early tomorrow morning. And then it's sunny and 71 for Wednesday afternoon. Still on track for some scattered showers on Friday morning. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, it's Heidi, and you've been hearing me talking about my friends at Dalco Home Remodeling. They're locally owned and family operated and have been installing the very best windows and doors in town for the past 50 years. Well, right now is the absolute best time to save on windows at Dalco. For a very limited time, you can earn a $600 tax credit on new windows, plus up to an additional $600 from Dalco on Elite Series windows with 0% financing for 18 months. That's up to $1,200 in credits for new energy-efficient windows from Dalco. This limited time offer ends November 15th, so don't wait. Give them a call today at 314-298-7300 to get up to $1,200 in credits for new energy-efficient windows from Dalco. That's 314-298-7300 or online at DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. 314-298-7300.
That was Jeremiah Love on Saturday. In studio right now is his father, Jason Love. When that moment was happening, describe what you and your bride were doing.
Just in awe. Just we're getting used to it now. So, but you never really get used to seeing it, and it happens. So every time he touched the ball, we like, okay, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. But we're just in awe and just elated and running up and down the stands, just celebrating. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really, really great. I loved it's. I thought it was so cool. ESPN Game Day did a really cool, I thought, really special feature on Jeremiah and you and his mom, and what a great relationship you have. Really highlighting what an incredible athlete he is, and student and human, and also sort of the unique journey you guys have been on as parents of Jeremiah. So for someone who doesn't know the story, tell us a little bit about what makes him special.
Jeremiah was he was always shy. Well, we took it as him being shy and just he stand off to the side a lot, and so for the we didn't really pay attention to some of his tendencies until he was we didn't really hone in on it until he was around about 6 or 7. And as he got older, we used to see that he used to do things different. And we just supported him, the best way we could at knowing what we knew at the time. And he's adventurous. He was his attention span wasn't the best, but he was just different. And once we figured out his tendencies and things like that, we adjusted our life and our decision making based on his perception or perspective, and we worked it out, figured it out, and now we're at Notre Dame. He's one of the best running backs in the country.
But I think it's really inspiring for parents who have a neurodiverse kid, right, who isn't necessarily doing things the way that everybody says that everybody else should be doing things. You guys decided early on to not put a label on it because you thought that would not be helpful for him, and that ended up working out well for you.
Yeah, Jeremiah is brilliant. He's highly functioning. His attention to detail was unmatched. I remember I thought someone was in my house speaking Japanese. I was like, what's going on? So I went up to the room, and Jeremiah sitting in front of the TV speaking, conversing, going back and forth with the anime show, speaking in Japanese. And the same thing happened with the piano. He was my wife went into CBC. He went to CBC grad. Sorry.
Sorry. Everybody makes a mistake. It's okay.
So, we heard someone playing piano upstairs in the foyer, and my wife said, "Who is that playing piano?" And they was like, "Go up there and see." And it's Jeremiah playing piano. We never knew anything about that. He just heard a tune and sat at the piano and started playing, and he was playing piano. So
incredible.
He's an incredible young man. I'm totally proud of him.
We're visiting with Jason Love, the father of Jeremiah Love. Jason spent a great career as a St. Louis City cop. He's from East St. Louis. I'm wondering how you compare the two careers, because they're both about courage. How would you compare what he does to what you did in your life?
Again, I joined. At 17, I joined the Army. Went to Germany. Was exposed to a whole new way of life, a whole different perspective on community, and just being taken out of that East St. Louis bubble. That starts shaping my life then, and I didn't even know it. You look back on life and you see you can locate pinpoint moments that decisions you make change the trajectory of your life. So at 17, I joined the military, went to Desert Storm, came back, went to college, graduated from U of I, and all the time I was just never accepted second place. I never accepted failure or quitting. So I instilled those qualities in Jeremiah, me and his mom, to never give up, to never say no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his motivation now. So he's motivated by success and by excellence. So that's what we instilled in him. When I was a cop for 23 years, St. Louis City. I was in a few specialized units. And I was kind of, the guy that people called when you needed, things handled properly. Yeah, so Jeremiah has that same aggression, that same wanting to do what's right, so we instilled those types of qualities in him.
That's really cool. When did you first know that he wasn't just really good at youth sports, but that he had that extra special level of talent, determination, stick-to-itiveness, that he was potentially going to have a career beyond, playing on the youth rec sports?
Yeah, Jeremiah has been all over St. Louis metropolitan area. He started his younger days. He was in Illinois playing with.
You coached him too, right?
Yeah, and trained him up until I wasn't competent enough, or my expertise level only went.
Yeah,
so far.
well, guys do it their whole lives. That's what they do for a living.
Yeah. So, I coached him, trained him up. We was playing with the Collinsville Raiders initially. His first run was at City Rec, though. His first team he played for was City Rec in St. Louis City. His first run was a 70-yard touchdown.
And he was, 7, 8 years old
like
then?
5.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. You got great video of that, too.
Yeah, he was like 5. And he sat on the bench the rest of the game.
Uh-huh.
So Jeremiah's always been an underdog and trying to find his way along and improving as he went along. So he was always doing amazing things, but I just didn't think nothing of it. I was like, okay, he's pretty good. But up until like his junior year at CBC,
wow,
he really separated himself from everyone.
And he had one of the greatest state championship performances of all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here he is. He's sitting at 900 yards this year. He had over 1,000 last year. He's the best running back in the country. It's a shame the Heisman Trophy Award now goes to the best quarterback and not the best player. The 2 losses hurt you. But regardless, this is how rare he is that running backs are no longer picked in the first round or very rarely. Every mock draft has him going really, really early. Speaking of getting drafted and making money, he got to Notre Dame, I think, right before NIL. But of course, he's been compensated since. What's it like? Your son doesn't ask you for a few extra dollars for a date anymore, right? He doesn't have to ask Dad for money, does he?
Oh, no. But let me it's an interesting story. It's crazy.
All right.
It seems like divine planning, and I'm not the most churchy, spiritual person, but I can't make sense out of the sequences and the steps of how we ended up in South Bend. Jeremiah went to a Catholic school, middle school, Most Holy Trinity off of Salisbury. Today, Tomorrow, Forever Foundation helped us out a lot. They were extremely generous with us. Then Jeremiah went to CBC. Another thing, that's another step in this journey towards Notre Dame. We didn't see it happening. And from there, Jeremiah exploded, became one of the best state championships in Missouri history, and South Bend didn't come looking at first. And I think Luther Burden was the first NIL recipient that really, his year was the one when it really started. Jeremiah was a year after him. So when Jeremiah went to Notre Dame, NIL was going, but it wasn't at the apex set. So Jeremiah went to Notre Dame for basically, the lowest amount you can pay a person. He had 7-figure offers at other schools. Jeremiah decided to not chase the money. He didn't want to do it for the money. He said he wanted to go and play amongst the best athletes, but get the best education. So he was actually looking at Princeton initially. But when he found out they didn't do playoffs and all that, he was like, nope. So we went for Stanford, but we were waiting on Notre Dame, but they didn't. They were in position, transitioning running back coaches. So they came. He went there for. Well, I talk about it now. I wanted to, I was ready to go to Florida, relocate to Florida with that 7-figure deal on the table. But wife and him, and with me, I jumped on board at the end. But now, the first 2 years was kind of his. He didn't get paid much from NIL.
Yeah.
But he also was creating other avenues towards NIL, like his comic book that he created, and other avenues to create his own NIL revenue stream. So that was our plan. We was like, Notre Dame is the biggest, it's a global market. It's the best marketing approach to do it if you want to create your own business and go forward and don't depend on the school to give you money. So that was our final realization that we could control NIL ourselves instead of people giving it to us.
Right.
So
that's so cool. I mean, the comic book and just the way he's to me, it's really inspirational. Just what I've read and being able and seeing the story and listening to you today, that he is somebody who's always going to take somewhat the road less traveled, and that's going to be one of the greatest legacies he leaves behind, both in sports and in life.
Yeah, that's true. He likes to do it the hard way. He understands that hard work is the only way to really achieve success, in my opinion. If it's easy, something's, my eyebrows raised. Hard work is always been my one of my lasting motivation is to never stop striving for success, never stop striving for it to be perfect, but we can't do that, but that's the goal, is to get there, is to be the best.
Yeah.
So have you ever had or what has been the best father-son moment in his career, either at CBC or at Notre Dame, where, he expresses like gratitude to what you and your wife sacrificed to get him to where he is? Has there been a moment like that, or what is the moment?
Well, it's a couple of moments. I know he did an interview with NBC, and the reporter repeated a quote that Jeremiah said about me. Yeah, and they didn't air it. Thankful they didn't air it. But the reporter asked Jeremiah, what was I to him? And he explained, he responded that I was his backbone. Me and his mom was his backbone. But, hearing that come from, I didn't think kids, when they don't talk to your parents too much still, they come and go and, rip and run. You don't think they're paying attention or care even. So when I heard that, it got me. And so that was one of the big moments. And just seeing him go to the prom, things like that it brought all the joy for me.
Well, Jill, look at this picture of Jeremiah for one moment and tell me if that's not a carbon copy of his father.
Yeah, I noticed when I saw that on the game day ESPN story too. I was like, you definitely can't.
You could put on the jersey right now.
Don't tell his mom that because she thinks she looks like him and her side of the family. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on raising an incredible son. We'd hope he becomes a superstar in the NFL. We know he will. Jason, thanks so much for coming in.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Altair Travel and Cruises, they're the people we always want to have on our team when it comes time to planning a trip. And one of the things that I think is fun, I hadn't thought about till I heard Angie Markaway talk about it on McGraw's show, and now I'm doing it in the next couple of years. I want to take and go to either one of the European markets or one of the other places that the incredible trips they plan for people to celebrate the holidays. We talked about early decorating this year, but there's a lot of great travel over there that out there in the world that can take you to places around the world that maybe you haven't thought about going to that really highlight the different ways that people celebrate in the season. Check it out on their website, or better yet, give them a call at altairtravel.com, 314-968-9600.
Do you know why right now is the absolute best time to book your new patio or deck with my friends at Outdoor Living? Aside from being the best in town, these guys are really smart. They pay attention to market conditions, and they've stocked up on patio and deck supplies, including steel, all before these tariffs kicked in. So while their competitors' pricing has gone through the roof, prices have never been better at Outdoor Living. Now is the best time to call and book your summer job. Not to mention, these same competitors have sold out to large conglomerates and hedge funds. Pat Leahy and his team remain locally owned and operated, providing the best pricing and the best service in town. So, looking for a new deck or a new fence or anything outdoor? Outdoor Living, 314-966-DECK. That's 314-966-DECK. Or check them out online, Outdoor Living Inc., or check out their great showroom, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood, OutdoorLivingInc.com. How do you separate estate planning from elder law? You don't, because they're so intertwined. Let's face it, we're all getting older, and you need to make these decisions today, whether it's for your parents, for yourself, or for future generations. Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Caroline Stolzer have been navigating these important decisions for more than 50 years. Beck, Lennox, Stolzer, Estate Planning, and Elder Law. Call them, 636-946-7899 or beckelderlaw.com. You can thank me later.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Brendan Weesey for AAA Home Services, a local family-owned American Standard heating and air conditioning platinum dealer that's been optimizing indoor air quality for 55 years. Temperatures are dropping. Now's a great time to have AAA service your furnace replace the filter, and reset your humidifier. And if you need a new furnace, they'll give you a fair and honest estimate on American Standard, voted #1 by Consumer Reports. Call AAA Home Services at 636-397-3200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
That was a great interview. And by the way, Frank, I've told you I finished Leland Vittert's book about the dad's relationship. And so when I saw the interview on ESPN Game Day, there was just a lot of similarities of parents saying, we understand somebody else might, this neurodivergence is a challenge, but it's also a real opportunity because we're going to let him follow the lead, and then sports are going to be a way we direct his energies, and it worked out well.
Yeah, and for them to never have him diagnosed, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's every parent's decision and right to do it however they want. Some people say, nope, we want that the diagnosis is not an issue. It's just part of the fact pattern of life, and I think you get to make that decision for yourself.
And I think we can say it's worked out pretty well for the Love family.
It sure has. Something else that would work out really well is turning to experts at the time when you begin to notice that your loved one is maybe having some memory challenges or some other issues. And Park Provence is a place within the Gatesworth communities that, of course, stands above the rest, nationally recognized for providing some of the best memory care support in the entire St. Louis region. Park Provence's medical director, David Carr, professor at Washington University School of Medicine, director of clinical services for their Division of Geriatrics and Gerontology, and he's there on the front lines at Park Provence to make sure that the medical support is there, the emotional support is there, and all the ways, the well-rounded look at how to support your loved one who has memory issues. Go to parkprovence.com or call 314-542-2500 to set up your tour today.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
On day 35 of the government shutdown, a coalition of local governments, nonprofits, and community organizers arguing in a court filing that the Trump administration's decision to partially fund SNAP benefits for November, quote, is not consistent with the judge's order requiring the food assistance program be funded. They're asking a judge to compel the USDA to fully fund SNAP. ABC's Rachel Scott says as of now, recipients will get only half of the November benefits.
This is only partial, and officials warn that this could take weeks
for that relief to actually reach the families that need it, partially because the systems that they are using and operating with are decades old. And so they say it's going to take some time for that relief to filter out in these states and these communities. And it's still unclear who exactly is going to get these benefits and who will not.
It is election day for state and local elections. Key races include the New Jersey and Virginia gubernatorial races, along with the New York City's mayoral race. And California voters will decide if state congressional maps should be redrawn. The FBI in Boston, along with local and Harvard University police, announcing the arrests of 2 Massachusetts men in connection with an explosion at Harvard Medical School Saturday morning. A briefing is scheduled for this afternoon. Condolences are coming in from across the aisle following the death of former Vice President Dick Cheney. Over his political career, he served as White House Chief of Staff for President Gerald Ford, a congressman from Wyoming, and Defense Secretary for President George H.W. Bush during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
He was beloved by conservatives and vilified by the left, compared to a Star Wars villain.
They wouldn't call me Darth Vader for nothing.
He was known for his increasingly conservative views on nearly everything but gay rights, perhaps because he had a gay daughter.
Cheney's family says he died due to complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. Dick Cheney was 84. You're listening to ABC.
Great workout, huh? Hey, do you want to grab some lunch? I'd love to, but I'm doing one of those detoxes, so I'm only allowed to drink this green stuff all day. Actually, I'm doing a detox too, but I don't have to drink that. Wait, what? What detox are you on? It's called Active Liver, and it's a natural tablet with herbs that support my liver and help me detox daily, all year long. No special diets, no prescription required, no starvation, and no, green stuff. I'm feeling amazing, sleeping better, and have so much more energy. And my digestion's never been better. Active Liver, huh? I'm gonna pick some up right now, on our way to lunch.
We ask a lot of our liver, so give it the support it deserves with an easy daily detox from Active Liver. Made with natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke, Active Liver helps cleanse and protect your liver so you feel less bloated and more energized. Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. When your liver is happy, your body is happy. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
66 degrees at 11:03. With KTRS News, I'm Steve Potter. Voters in several communities are heading to the polls today. Among those casting ballots will be voters in the Rockwood and Melville school districts who will be deciding on tax propositions. The Rockwood district is seeking a property tax increase, with much of the added revenue slated to go for increases in salaries for teachers and other employees. Melville voters will decide whether to continue authorizing a portion of its property tax rate for capital projects, and voters in Bellefontaine Neighbors will decide on an additional sales tax on the retail sales of marijuana. St. Louis officials are continuing efforts to address the urgent need for shelters for those in the city without adequate housing. Mayor Kara Spencer recently held a press conference where she addressed the issue that faces residents affected by the devastating tornado earlier this year and those without adequate housing as the winter season begins.
Getting our most vulnerable neighbors safely through winter is currently the top priority of my administration, and I've made it clear to my team that I will move heaven and earth to make sure that we are providing safe shelter for folks in need this winter.
The mayor's office has been working with the Board of Aldermen on 3 bills that would appropriate more than $13 million to address the issue. Meanwhile, Reverend Larry Rice of New Life Evangelistic Center plans to address the St. Louis County Council tonight. He says he'll be talking about the needs of the homeless in St. Louis County. The Illinois Department of Corrections has launched a new pilot program that provides no-cost phone calls to people in custody at correctional facilities in the state. Beginning yesterday, each individual in custody is now able to receive 775 free domestic phone call minutes per month to call loved ones. Department of Corrections Director LaToya Hughes says the pilot program will run through June of next year and will both support the well-being of inmates and promote rehabilitation. And next year, Spirit Airlines will be ending service in St. Louis.
The airline announced it's discontinuing service to Lambert Airport and several other airports on January 8th to focus on its, quote, strongest performing markets. Spirit currently offers flights from St. Louis to Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Las Vegas. The airline said it will reach out to customers whose flight plans are affected. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. The Missouri Grown program will again this year offer holiday gift boxes for the 2025 Christmas season, each full of unique food and home products from small agribusinesses across the state. Buyers can send a gift box directly to friends and family through the Missouri Grown purchasing platform at MissouriGrownUSA.com. Now a look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is down 133 points at 47,201. NASDAQ down 318 at 23,520. And the S&P 500 down 52 at 6,799. In sports, St. Louis University beat Southeast Missouri State in the basketball season opener last night, 92-67. 5 Billiken players scored double digits, including Robbie Avila with 18 points and 11 rebounds. Up next, the Billikens will host Chicago State. That's this Thursday with a 7 p.m. tip-off. We're looking for sunny skies both today and tomorrow. A high today near 71. Mostly clear tonight, an overnight low in the low 50s. 70 the high for tomorrow afternoon. At 7 minutes past 11 o'clock, sunshine, 66 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
You know, I've never seen Greg Willard without a pocket hanky. And you're probably old enough to remember the phrase, Beau Brummel? Yeah. Yeah, that was regarded as, have you ever heard that phrase? You're too young for this.
No,
He's
I
a
didn't.
Beau Brummel. That means you're really super stylish.
I know it. I think from the one of the lines in this a song from the musical Annie.
Yeah. So much for professors having that avuncular look. Of course, you were a high-priced attorney for years, so that's where you have this great closet full of garments.
I need all the help I can get, my friend.
Oh, you look great. So the big news, of course, today, Dick Cheney, 84 years old. You actually worked with Dick Cheney. Your thoughts?
It's a sad day. It's a sad day in a number of respects. In the Willard household, a sad day because we lost a colleague and a friend. When Annie and I worked in the White House, initially, Don Rumsfeld was our chief of staff and Dick Cheney was his deputy. Rumsfeld became Secretary of Defense for President Ford, and Dick became our White House chief of staff. Our arcs, if you will, Annie's and mine, and Dick and Lynn and their family converged over the years and the decades since. I think my sadness is tempered when I remember back to the terrific times that we spent with him and his family. The one aspect I think that is often overlooked, that we certainly saw over the years, he was a really funny guy. Then that's not the typical media portrayal of Dick Cheney, but he was a funny guy, and he loved practical jokes. He loved to participate in practical jokes. In the Ford White House, there were many, and very quite often you could see the fingerprints, as it were, of Richard Bruce Cheney. But I was privileged to have known and worked with him. He was a good man, a very good man.
Oh, that's really cool to hear. Of course, you've been kind of telling this is on the docket and it's coming. Supreme Court decision on the president's tariffs expected very soon. Do you consider that a landmark case?
It may be. It may be. And the reason I hedge, Jill, is there could be a path to decision that the Supreme Court takes that will not be groundbreaking, landmark in terms of Supreme Court jurisprudence. On the other hand, it could. Quickly to set the stage, President Trump, as I think virtually all of our listeners know, has levied massive tariffs for countries around the world in unprecedented amounts. Let's just quickly set a couple of markers down. Under the Constitution, a president does not have power to levy tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Under the Constitution, only the Congress has power to levy tariffs. What this fight is all about, Congress in the mid-1970s passed a statute granting some of its congressional powers to the president in emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
President Trump has asserted that that mid-70s emergency statute, that grant that Congress gave him, gives him the power to levy these tariffs. Our listeners will hear two concepts in the next few days. Number one, it's called the major questions doctrine. That means when Congress gives a president an enormous basket of powers, a major question power, if you will, Congress has to be very explicit as to who, what, when, where, and how those powers of the Congress are being given to the president. Example, President Biden tried to cancel $450 billion with a B in student loans. The Supreme Court said, Mr. President, you don't have that power, even though you say Congress gave it to you because it's a major question and they did not specifically give it to you. Question number one tomorrow morning that will be argued. Clearly, these tariffs are a major question. Was Congress specific enough? President Trump says they were. The opponents say you can read that statute and the word tariff is not mentioned. The second thing that our listeners may hear is this fancy phrase, non-delegation. There are some powers that the Congress has that the Constitution says cannot be given to the president. They cannot be delegated. Is this one of them? The court may decide. But I want to just emphasize for our listeners the baseline framework that our listeners need to understand is a president, as a matter of the Constitution, does not have power to levy tariffs. The Constitution gives that power only to the Congress. The question our listeners will be hearing about is, did the Congress constitutionally give some of its tariff-making power to the president, or will the court rule no, whether major questions, non-delegation, or something else? They did not, at which point we got a mess on our hands with a refund situation, Jill.
Okay, so you said last week that you think it's going to be a good thing for the Republican Party if Mamdani wins. And it looks like he's going to win, barring anything unusual today at the polls. But with that said, then why would President Trump be on 60 Minutes saying he'd prefer if Cuomo were to win?
Oh, I think there's probably a lot that goes in to that. There could be sort of the fact that President Trump says he's for somebody may drive some voters to the other side. You know, sort of the counter argument. But I continue to believe, Frank, that the champagne corks will be popping at the Republican National Committee, because on a national basis, the more that the Republican Party can paint the opposition as to Bernie Sanders, AOC, and a socialist, some say communist governor, Democratic mayor, rather, of the city of New York, that is music to the ears of the Republican National Committee. Now, whether any of our listeners agrees with Mr. Mamdani and AOC and Bernie Sanders, or the most ardent of the Republicans on the other side, I don't care. I don't take positions on the air. I'm not going to take positions on this. But I think it is, to me, Frank, as clear as the sun rose in the east a while ago, that the idea of having a socialist, some say communist, as the Democratic mayor of New York City is going to be the gift that keeps on giving for the national Republican Party.
Frank just mentioned a minute ago that President Trump was on 60 Minutes over the weekend, and he was pretty clear he has a strong desire to end the filibuster. He thinks that would just solve the government shutdown immediately, and that's what seems to be his preferred route for seeing that happen. Others, including many in the Republican Party in Congress, are saying that they do not like that so-called nuclear option. What is the nuclear option, and what are the ramifications in your perspective?
The nuclear option is a procedural stunt, a procedural trick that a majority in the Senate has used before to curtail the filibuster. The filibuster is a rule that has been around since, I think, the 1820s that requires for debate to stop in the Senate, they have to have a vote of cloture. And so I think it currently is 60 is the filibuster rule. So if you can't get 60 votes, then nothing can pass in the Senate. What has happened over the years, for example, in judicial nominations, is in the early 2010s, the Democrats, when they controlled the Senate, they exercised the nuclear option as to district court nominees and Court of Appeals nominees. Then minority leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, said, you better be careful what you ask for, you might get it. And guess what? When the Republicans took control of the Senate and there were Republican nominees to the Supreme Court, the Republicans then exercised the nuclear option as to Supreme Court nominees. What President Trump is now talking about is at the core of the filibuster rule, and that is, as to legislation, will Majority Leader Thune and the Republicans exercise the nuclear option and basically destroy the filibuster as to legislation? My personal, not my political views, but my personal views are tempered by what the founders expected from the Senate. The founders and the framers of the Constitution saw our bicameral federal legislative branch in two very distinct functions, a cup and a saucer. The framers saw the House of Representatives as the cup of hot coffee or hot tea. They saw the Senate as the saucer to cool the passions, the political passions that are expressed every 2 years at the ballot box. The filibuster is part of that philosophical structure, if you will, in terms of the saucer cooling the passions, a little more deliberative. The question is, in 2025, are we going to destroy that? The Senator Thune has said he is not inclined. President Trump disagrees. If I were a betting man, I bet that this round the filibuster survives and the nuclear option will not be triggered as to legislation. Time will tell.
Interesting.
All right, before we let you go, since we began with Dick Cheney, let's end with Dick Cheney. I heard Karl Rove this morning, and he said that George W. had him in a room and said, do you think this would be a good idea? And he was vehemently against hiring him as the vice president. He said, he gives us Wyoming. We're going to win Wyoming. And he goes, he's aligned with your father. Let's try something different and everything. And Dick Cheney was completely aware of all the negativity from Karl Rove, and yet he turned the other cheek. I don't want to make him seem like a saint, but it seems like back then you could have disagreements and not like people, and then all of a sudden you do turn the other cheek, and maybe now you don't.
Well, I think that's right, and I'll give you a couple of quick observations. In that context, and George W. Bush has written about it, and Dick Cheney has written about it, is when it looked like Governor Bush was leaning towards picking Cheney as his vice presidential nominee, Cheney himself said, I want to have a meeting with you, Governor, and Karl Rove and me, and we'll just put it all out there. That was very consistent to those of us who worked in the White House for President Ford with Dick Cheney as the chief of staff. Dick Cheney, when he was our chief of staff, you could absolutely make book, Frank, that when an issue was presented to Gerald Ford, Dick Cheney would absolutely move heaven and earth and insist that the contra position of what was being recommended to President Ford, that the contra position was presented to the president. Not because perhaps someone disagreed with what was being recommended, but Dick Cheney wanted to make certain that the President of the United States had the totality of thinking on this issue, so then the President can make the decision. The episode that you recounted that Karl Rove talked about this morning is consistent with what those of us who were privileged to work with Dick in the White House saw. And as I said earlier, putting aside the political, ideological issues that some may have, Dick Cheney was a good man, a good father and grandfather, and Annie and I were blessed to have known and worked with him. He was a good man.
Very eloquent. Thank you so much, sir. Honored to have you in.
Great to be with both of you. Stay safe.
Always love having you in, Greg. So you may have heard the story. I've heard one like it where all of a sudden we get the cold snap. It's really, really cold, too much on the furnace. It breaks, and then emergency situation. You need somebody to come out and fix it ASAP, or perhaps even replace it ASAP. You've got a sticker on the side of the furnace from the house people that owned it before. You try to call that company, and they're no longer in business. The whole thing can get to be a real debacle. And what I hope that never happens to you. I hope you never have a furnace break down when you need it to be running for you, and I hope you never have to deal with that scenario. But one of the ways that you set yourself up for not having to deal with that exact scenario is by getting your furnace serviced regularly and having that very important safety and efficiency check before the really cold weather hits. And you do that by calling our friends at Premier Heating and Cooling. The great thing about it is they have the best trained technicians. They'll come out, they'll give you a detailed report about exactly what's happening with your heating system, what you need to look out for, what they can do to help make it as efficient as it can be. They'll even give you an estimate as to how long they think it'll run. And then if something does go awry, maybe you're on your last legs, you're down to your last year or two with your furnace, you already have a relationship with somebody who you can trust, instead of having to just get the name out of the internet of somebody that you don't know you can trust, and then spending one of the most expensive purchases you can have on your house in buying a new furnace from somebody that you don't know if they're going to be around in a year or two or 3 or 5 to take care of it. Premier Heating and Cooling. They've been here for 35 years. They're going to be here for at least another 35 years because they love what they do. It's a generational business, and they care a lot about doing the best job they can for you and for their staff. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. So why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They're draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Oh, wait. You're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROFIT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code PROFIT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROFIT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROFIT.
From the same guys who brought you the watering bowl, say hello to the number 2 crew. The number 2 crew will visit your yard once a week in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, or St. Charles County, and they'll take care of your dog's business. Think of the number 2 crew as your yard's best friend. 314-717-8880 or the2crew.com. The number 2 crew, reporting for duty each and every week in your backyard. The number 2 crew or the2crew.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made
furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Royal Banks of Missouri invites you to the 2025 Economic Forecast Breakfast, Tuesday, November 18th at the Factory in Chesterfield. Hear from local experts, Ron Amlin of St. Louis Small Business Monthly, Dr. William Emmons, retired economist, and many more on current market conditions and what lies ahead for the U.S. economy in 2026 and beyond. For more info and to RSVP, visit royalbanksofmo.com. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
Want a song?
Around my mind like a song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. Frank and Jill Show, celebrating our 1 year of the Frank and Jill Show. It was November 4th, 2024, when we started this whole thing. Thanks for all of the texts coming in today. We really appreciate you guys congratulating us. And so I love this from the 636. Frank has a heart for sports. Everything else is like eating a hot dog instead of Italian food. Marilyn saying, you make a great team. We love having you here as well. And somebody asking about the restaurant I was mentioning for lunch yesterday. It's Il Belago. Some of you saying you're not so crazy about the early what would we call it? Christmasification of stuff and everybody decorating early. But I like this one from our friend Ed Becker. I love the early start to the November and December holidays. People are just in better moods. I'm Jewish and I love it. So I like that. We'll follow your lead on that. And then Frank. Hey, Agnes. Frank has a deep understanding of knowledge when it comes to sports. I happen to really appreciate that from one of our female listeners.
She's my favorite.
She is. She's definitely is. And by the way, Joyce Dorsey is the person who gave us the idea on, she happens to be a big Notre Dame fan and saw the story on Mr. Love and pointed our direction, our 1035 guest today. We should also say Dr. Rick and Joe are both on vacation. Dr. Rick is in Italy, and we got to find out where Joe is.
Yeah, Dr. Rick, man, he travels as much as you do.
Yeah, almost. I mean, not quite as much. Because he keeps forgetting that he did retire once, and I think I'm sure his spouse said, "Listen, if you're going to go back and work, we still got to be able to take some good trips." So.
Yes.
He was funny. He texted in. He said, "By the way, not there next week. I'm just going to Italy for 3 days." I was like, "I want to go to Italy for 3 days."
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Would you want to go for that short a time?
No chance. Yeah, my sisters, they're going to. They're renting a villa in Italy for like 2 weeks this summer.
Did they invite you?
Yeah. And I just couldn't take 2 weeks.
You know what? I have to say, John Farmer and I had never done it before. He'd never, in our 32 years of marriage, it was just too hectic and overwhelming. And I took 3 weeks when on the Africa trip a year ago, and the world did not end. He only took like 7.5 days, but in May he decided he would just try it and see if the world ended. And he took 2 weeks, and he was like most relaxed he's ever been. Actually, forgot about work. I mean, he was like, it turns out I can see why people say you should take 2 weeks. It takes you that long to really unwind.
There's no question that both of you are correct. Yeah, I mean, it's for sure. I just can't because we're too short of staff, and there's a couple of things going on sports-wise that I couldn't miss.
I know, but that makes me grumpy, right? Because of the work I do with my other hat. The workplaces get away with understaffing because people like you don't take the vacation that they should be taking because they can't do it without sort of screwing your other employees.
Yeah.
And that's the workplace manipulating people and abusing them, really.
Yeah.
It's going to take people saying, I'm taking 2 weeks off and you guys have to figure out staffing for them to take care of that.
This is like verbatim Monique. Exactly.
I think she's a very, very wise woman. You know that. And a saint, I might say. And I just want to say, Song of the Day today, in honor of our 1 year anniversary of the Frank and Jill Show, I let you pick the song, and look at what you chose.
Oh, gosh.
It's your favorite part coming up. Good choice, Frank. That was an excellent job.
See, I did Heidi's show yesterday, and they introduced me with the theme from Rocky, and then you give me this. I don't know if another year's going to last. Really.
Seriously, Josh giving you Rocky, that is a huge, like when he plays Winona for Heidi. You know he's trying to butter her up when he does that.
Didn't Carney play like the Rocky Bullwinkle?
Yes. Typical Carney.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good bit.
Love that, Josh.
So you do for those who you do McGraw and you do Carney, do you do Josh and the Heidi Glaus show every week, just occasionally?
Yeah, every once in a while if they need somebody. Yeah.
When they need like they really want to draw the listeners in.
Desperate, they probably had a guest canceled at the last moment.
Well, Brendan was out because of the Mizzou game, and so they kind of needed someone last second.
Yeah, right. It always feels good to be the substitute, I find. For sure. Hey, our friend Sarah Finsky, who's going to join us tomorrow, of course, she doesn't describe herself as a sporty sport, but she had a good reaction, I thought, to on Donnybrook this week to a Business Journal article which was looking at Milwaukee and saying that maybe St. Louis needs to follow its lead because it's creating all kinds of opportunities by attracting lesser-known sports like fencing. And Alvin Reed, who was leading the panel this week because Charlie was out, asked the panel if St. Louis was doing enough to attract sort of sports tourism through some off-the-beaten path kind of sports as well. And I thought Sarah's response was interesting. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. If you can, like so many times, and I know Mark Schreiber really well, the president of the Sports Commission, and Frank Viverito, they're fighting from behind all the time. Yeah, and that tax thing is huge. And, boy, it's amazing, too, like the figure skating championship, when we have it, we just set records. Or the gymnastics championship, when we have it, it's just flawless, sold out. Everybody goes crazy about it. So I applaud the Sports Commission. I think it's a great thing to bring up. And speaking of Alvin, he'll be here tomorrow for taping of the sports show at 9 o'clock that we're going to air at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. I love Alvin Reed.
I know. And how long have you guys known each other?
Oh, yeah, 30 years, yeah. So he's great. Did he take a stand on that, or is he more moderating?
No, he was more moderating. And nobody, some people were, sort of like, this isn't going to solve St. Louis's problems. But I got to say,
Can't hurt.
The volleyball tournaments downtown, if you're downtown on a quiet weekend, because, that's where my gym is. And so I'm down there on weekends when a lot of people out in the suburbs aren't. And I'll tell you what, when there's a volleyball tournament in town and that convention center is full of thousands of people coming in to play for volleyball for that weekend, it helps all those downtown businesses a lot. It's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, and the great thing about like that and like the Valley Tournament or the Frozen Four is everybody's from out of town. So the hotels and the restaurants are skyrocketing. They're not like driving from Chesterfield and then playing in the event and then leaving. They're staying and eating our food and using our hotels. So it's great.
Yeah, and of course, we'll beat ourselves up and notice the things that need improving, which there are a lot that need improving downtown. I know you guys have mentioned a lot, and I'm not arguing with you there. But when people come into town and they look for the best things to do in St. Louis, they end up seeing some more of the best and the brightest and the coolest neighborhoods, and they're at the Foundry, right? They're not wandering around in, where a lot of the businesses are boarded up. And so I think it's good for all of us all around.
What I found was almost baffling was the Salt and Smoke at Ballpark Village, and I think there may be 4 or 5 of them now, maybe 5 or 6. That is their best place in terms of revenue.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they I think they have a couple of floors. They're always rocking. So downtown may look like on the outside dead to some, but that Ballpark Village and what Katie's Pizza does extremely well.
Yeah,
too.
taking friends down from out of town this year, and a couple of them to ball games, and we watched for Ballpark Village, and they're like, "I've never seen this. Is amazing with this." And they shut down the street. You can just all walk around, and it was very vibrant, especially before game time. This is on the text line. Yes, till Milwaukee. So true. Listening from the Green Bay area now. Downtown there is vibrant and up and coming. And your question that you posed earlier, a professional women's soccer player saying that she'd like to see, I forgot the name, I'm sorry, standards of that to biological males being able to play. And we've gotten some good responses. Somebody saying, absolutely, yes, you're right. If there's male parts, not interesting. Somebody else saying, many of the players are saying this isn't an issue. It's just bringing up an issue to create an issue. There isn't anybody who's trying to play in the league, so why are we creating a divisive issue around this in a way that creates walls where it doesn't need to be? So 2 different perspectives on that.
Yep. All right, let's take a break. If you'd like to be a part of the program, 84126. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Capital Advisory Group and our friend Jeff Zufall, always so good at helping individuals who want to stop overpaying on their taxes as well as be able to grow enough wealth to live their retirement dreams. One of the things that people are sometimes surprised to hear us say here on KTRS, the Big 550, the talk of St. Louis, is that Jeff does an excellent job with small businesses as well. There's a lot of small businesses in the world. I get it. I have owned my own small business for a very long time with my coaching practice. You're trying to wear too many hats. And a lot of us, maybe when we first start out, hire a bookkeeper or somebody to sort of help on the tax side. But it may not be somebody who is an expert on taking advantage of tax laws for small businesses. Jeff and his team are those experts. And when it comes to helping your business with its profitability, growing revenue, make it sustainable for the long term, all the things that I think every small business owner wants to see happen, Jeff can advise you on that, and he can help support you in a very well-rounded way. And so if you are a small business owner who's been kind of trying to go it on your own or is figuring this out as you go and you're ready to grow and to maximize the impact you can make your appointment today with Jeff Zufall and his team at Capital Advisory Group. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com, 636-394-5524.
And now, KTRS weather.
Not a bad run of weather by November standards. We're going to have some clouds this morning that make way for mostly sunny skies and warmer temperatures this afternoon. 71 for the high. Winds out of the south this afternoon at 10 to 15. A couple of gusts up to 20 or 25. Mostly clear tonight, not as chilly. The low in St. Louis at 54 early tomorrow morning. And then it's sunny and 71 for Wednesday afternoon. Still on track for some scattered showers on Friday morning. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
St. Louis is home to more than 80,000 University of Missouri, St. Louis alumni, where they drive the region's economy and contribute to its social and cultural well-being. At UMSOL, more is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for Bishop's Post. It's that time of year again, so make sure to get your reservations at Bishop's Post for Christmas and New Year's Eve. They're filling up for holiday parties too, so get those reservations. Bishop's Post, located in Chesterfield at bishopspost.com.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circa Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You might know Graybar for cable and connectivity, but there's one more thing you should know us for that can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialists who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line and get to know us for that. Yep, Graybar does that.
Concerned about where your retirement is heading? Is it on track to meet your needs and goals? Are taxes and inflation a constant worry? Well, you can join Jerry Means for What Retirement Means to You, powered by Means Financial Group, and find out how their team can help guide you to that retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means, Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, The Talk of St. Louis. More details at meansfinancialgroup.com.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online and see their entire inventory online at bommarito.com.
There we go.
I was going to say, is this to cleanse your palate after Jesse's
Yes.
girl? You didn't even comment, though. I'm like, is everything okay?
I'm just getting rejected like a white guy trying to go to the rim in the NBA on all these Sports Plus ideas. So.
What can we?
Well,
how about if we brainstorm?
Heim Bloom, and we're trying to work out a time where it works studio time and in his limited schedule. Then the new sporting director, he's got to go to Canada right after the press conference tomorrow. So I'm getting shut down. I feel like I'm looking for a prom date back in the old days.
Well, we're getting to the finals of volleyball season. Any really good, that's my sport. Any good players you could feature?
Coaches, Joe Farmer breaking it down.
No, I probably wouldn't be your best guess on that, but we got some pretty phenomenal, historically great volleyball players from the St. Louis region. We were talking about great football players from this area. Anybody
Yes.
playing big time college ball anywhere that you could do an interview with?
I'm not sure if that's a big hit ratings wise, and our advertisers would love that, but maybe I always like when Corey or somebody comes up with an idea. There's no way it's a Sports Plus thing. I always say, that's maybe make it a package for 5 o'clock.
I think people like me would watch. We would spend more time watching Sports Final if you had
Sports
some of
Final,
this.
I mean,
Sorry, Sports Plus.
Is that
Sorry,
show still in business?
I don't think so. I think it's gone. Or maybe every night, one of those two. I don't know. I think sometimes thinking out of the box, and when you can tease a story that's a little bit out of the box, that is interesting.
Yeah, I think those stories are really good. But a sit-down one-on-one interview, it's got to be somebody that's relatively famous. Like, I thought Magnus Carlsen could have been an interview, but because he's so out there, that he's better a feature. And, you know, the feature takes so much more to put together.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find all this archive video, get people to talk about them, and just write the thing. An interview is easy, but if you got somebody that's dynamic, it's a great talker on a hot topic. That's
Well, I'm forgetting his name, but what about the guy who played baseball for Mizzou that just pitched in the
Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
I have texted, but yeah, that's, you know, if they would have won, it would have been a really.
It's still going to be really good.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Max
how many people in the world have done what he did? Very, 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 very few.
You know, that's actually a pretty good idea. And I'm going to pursue that, I swear to God, at 12 o'clock. Because we can talk about Tony Vitello, his best friend, coming to the Giants. And he did text about doing an interview. Then, I don't know, we messed up on it. But yeah, that's a great thing.
One of the things we were talking about off air a little bit, Spirit Airlines announcing today, St. Louis shouldn't take it personally, but they're dumping us. They're not going to be having flights out of here. We're among a few other cities that they say they're narrowing their focus, which is not great news.
I mean, but the list they're dropping, it was like Phoenix, Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're just shrinking their where they're servicing.
Yeah, they are. I said that we really should not take it personally, but it is still I think anytime we lose flights anywhere, we talked earlier about the fact that, you know, Southwest is dropping a bunch of its direct flights to these mid-sized cities in the Midwest, like Tulsa, of course, Des Moines. That impacts me a lot, Little Rock, and a lot of those cities. A lot of people are like, oh, why do we care about that? But if you're somebody who uses those flights regularly, and I know for Spirit Airlines, it's just one of the lower cost airlines that people will use to get to, you know, places like Florida here. It's going to impact some flyers.
Yeah, that is a shame.
The other thing is, but Jefferson County is talking about bringing back an airport because they have more people living down there who want to be able to bring their private jets to their land. So, you know, there's a lot of wealthy people in the world that I think have some pretty big farms and things like either as second homes or have built a monstrosity of a first home out there. And apparently they can't be bothered with things like traffic. They need to have their private jet be able to come and go.
That's neat. I was thinking about this morning in terms of like technology that I can handle, which is limited. What I'm holding in my hand, you're familiar with this, Jill? And Connor, I wonder how long these have been around.
If that's a portable speaker.
Portable speaker. I tell you, this is like the most valuable thing I have in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have this in my hand more than I have Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
Because like shower, hot tub, golf course, work at all times, because the phone gives you a little bit of sound, but this gives you this quality sound, and it seems like the battery never ends. These are like the
Now, what do you think about wearing headphones? Because what you're doing
Well,
now,
not in the shower, not in the hot tub.
not in the shower and hot tub, but
Yeah.
you know, in public, you don't have any qualms about just playing whatever you're playing for everyone to hear. You know.
Well, I only do it in the office when I'm alone, which
Okay.
is, you know, from 6 to 11. And then on the course, if I go to the end of the range and turn it on, nobody hears it. It's
Okay.
just more
So you
quality.
try to keep it a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
little
you're
more
respectful of the noise pollution thing. But, I mean, John will not get rid of the speakers that he bought with his own money. I'm guessing when he was probably 20 or 21 years old. And so they're, you know, these wood monstrosities in
those
our
are nice, though.
basement.
Those are nice.
And that are just down there. And I'm like, I think if we did a side by side and I closed your eyes, I swear you would not be able to tell a huge difference between listening to those speakers and these, you know, kind of portable JBLs that we take up to the deck with us, or, you know, on Halloween.
Those wood ones are quality. Those are vintage. You
I
can't get rid
know.
of those.
How old do you think there are?
Well, let's see. They would be 36 years old if he got him when he was 20.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, they haven't been plugged in for a really long time, nor has the tuner that also sits downstairs and collects dust as well. But I am vetoed on that big time.
You don't let him plug them in?
I wouldn't care if he plugged them in and they actually were used. They are not being used. They are just sitting down there gathering dust, and I don't see them being functional again in the future because we have better alternatives that are a lot smaller.
I've got to talk to John. We've got to fix this.
I know. Believe me, the text line is going to come after me real quickly because there's a lot of guys listening to this, I'm sure, who have those big speakers down the basement unplugged, and the idea that somebody would take them away is an affront.
All right, we got a break. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey,
A
TB.
big KTRS shout out to Lacey Lumber, family owned and family operated since 1872. Lacey Lumber has built the St. Louis metropolitan area. They've worked with builders and contractors and homeowners. They provide building materials from soup to nuts. 2 hardware stores in Belleville ready to serve you. Millwork, insulating material, wallboard, roofing materials, you name it, Lacey Lumber can help because Lacey Lumber is just that much better. LaceyLumber.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Let's talk about legacy. Yingling, 196 years of brewing. Family owned for 6 generations. That's elite. That's first ballot Hall of Fame status. But even the legends evolve. So meet the next generation of light beer. Flight, just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. This isn't some watered no flavor regret in a can beer. Flight is crisp, clean, and actually tastes like beer. It's time to level up, St. Louis. Flight from Yingling. DG Yingling & Sons, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Scott, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
You've heard so many people talk about Innsbrook. Now it's time to see for yourself. 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, on-site restaurants, an 18-hole championship golf course for you to go play by yourself with some friends, or maybe even a charity event, nature trails, event spaces, and so much more. Innsbrook is 45 minutes from St. Louis. It's so close, and yet you feel so far away. Go see Innsbrook for yourself. Innsbrook-resort.com.
A message from the master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newstetter's Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Our friends at TB Exteriors have a great deal right now for KTRS listeners, only $500 off. All you have to do is mention you listen to them on KTRS, and if you are, the time is now. If you've been thinking about getting that roof replaced, you know it's detracting from the value of your home. You know it's causing problems on the inside. It's a great time to reach out to them and take advantage of this deal. They'll put certain-teed shingles on your roof, highest quality, the highest level of warranty you can get on a roof. They have that available for you. Just give them a call today, 636-362-9503, or visit tbexteriorsmo.com. for sure. Somebody's saying they're really glad that the new airport is coming to Jefferson County. They've needed a place to park their private plane for a while. I think you're the only person in the studio who, well, I shouldn't say that. Connor, have you ever been on a private plane?
I have not.
Okay, so you are the only person in the studio who has ever been on a private plane. I want to try it someday. I hear it's kind of kicking it old school because you don't even have to wear your seatbelt. You just kind of do whatever you want.
But here's the thing, even on those big planes that we all fly on to go some places, which is what the Blues and Cardinals do, you don't abide by anything you do, about anything you do in a regular flight. I mean, you do not put on your seatbelt, you walk, you do whatever you want. And yet it's the exact same plane.
Okay, so it's just a different rules apply. Is that how I'm understanding you? It just feels like totally different because everybody's just up doing whatever the heck they want.
Well, on those private jets, that's different, right? Then you get like the chairs with the tables out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's mahogany.
Yeah.
And sometimes gold and yeah, it's really.
I love the pictures that you'll see, like of the old, back in the TWA days and in the Pan Am days. I'm talking like the early days, maybe 60s,
Pan Am, boy,
70s of where
cow.
people would be eating their hot meals on what was like an actual bench with a table and chairs. It was a different time. I've of course before my time, and I took my first flight when I was 18, so I was way past that time.
I think the comparative cost, it was way more expensive to go on flights back then.
Absolutely was.
Like,
I saved up my own money because I wanted to go to Sweden before my senior year of high school, and my parents said, you have at it, you just got to buy the ticket. And I worked at Ben Franklin Family Center, and I saved up $936 to buy my round trip ticket from Chicago O'Hare to go to Sweden for the summer as an exchange student. And I bought my parents and I tickets to go back to Sweden in 2015 after we dropped my daughter off at college, and I paid less than $500 for each of our tickets. And I was like, that's one thing in life that has not gotten more expensive.
You got a Salisbury steak out of it when you flew. Exactly. And you said Ben Franklin, was that a department store? You mean the Ben Franklin, like the Five and Dime? Or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where you learn how to make keys, mix paint, cut fabric, do all the things when you work there. It was a good job back in high school.
All right, good job today. We celebrate our 1-year anniversary on the Big 550 for the Frank and Jill Show. We appreciate Connor for all of his great work and most importantly, the audience for staying with us. We'll be back to begin year 2 tomorrow. And coming up next will be John Carney and Julie Buck. We'll be back in 22.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com.
Great workout, huh?
Hey, do you want to grab some lunch? I'd love to, but I'm doing one of those detoxes, so I'm only allowed to drink this green stuff all day.
Actually, I'm doing a detox too, but I don't have to drink that.
Wait, what? What detox are you on?
It's called Active Liver, and it's a natural tablet with herbs that support my liver and help me detox daily, all year long. No special diets, no prescription required, no starvation, and no green stuff. I'm feeling amazing, sleeping better, and have so much more energy. And my digestion's never been better.
Active Liver, huh? I'm gonna pick some up right now, on our way to lunch.
We ask a lot of our liver, so give it the support it deserves with an easy daily detox from Active Liver. Made with natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke, Active Liver helps cleanse and protect your liver so you feel less bloated and more energized. Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. When your liver is happy, your body is happy. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
JTV, Jewelry Television. With 80,000 jewelry looks, we're kind of a big deal. Even bigger with new lines of designer handbags, fragrances, and more. And biggest of all, because you could win a 7-night stay in Bali, spending money and thousands worth of JTV jewelry, making you kind of a big deal. Enter by December 7th at jtv.com/sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Then watch JTV on TV or shop jtv.com for big holiday deals.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Senate failed to pass a measure to reopen the government again today in the latest vote. Tomorrow, the shutdown will become the longest in U.S. history. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says next week some airspace may be